Well, I was just in a video where Mustie One's working on that front suspension on that kit car, and just watching him and talking about those, that front suspension, and maybe having to fab up some shock mounts, and he just got the juices flowing, and I'm going, yeah, man, fabricating, build something, create it, make it work, figure it out. I love it. That's what it's all about. And so I got so inspired that here it is, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm out here in my shop. And what I came out here intending to do, although I've been driving this truck all summer long, and a little longer than that actually, I never had mounted rear shocks on it. I've got my front ones on. That was a have to have. I mean, you just have to have them. Can you say bump steering? I mean, you got to have those front shocks, but the back ones I just hadn't ever gotten around to put them on, and I've got some over here that I'm going to mount. But that might smooth out a few bumps in the road. At any rate, that was my intention, but the best laid plans of mice and men. Came out here to get going on that and discovered another problem that I have that's more immediate and more urgent that I address. I discovered that my signal lights are not working. My four-way flashers are not working. This is my power switch. It powers my lights and my signal lights and whatnot. My headlights are working, bright, dims, park lights, tail lights, all that. But signal lights are not working. So before I start building shock mounts, I'm going to have to address this problem, and because that's a have to have. Again, so I got to get my little test light and get in there and start tracing power and see how far I get. But by the way, took this thing to town today and drove it all around, and actually those seats are quite comfy. Those horse collar backs, you just kind of sink back into them, just kind of snuggle back in there, and I have a lot more room. Those headrests set out probably a good 6 inches from that back wall there, so I've got more leg room. It just feels better. Even though I moved the seats forward a little bit to allow those collars to go fit down in behind, I still lean back further, and I just got more room in there. It just feels better, so I'm happy with that. Now, a friend who helps me with a lot of projects, I cut out some foam today that fits in here, a little 1-inch pad that's going to go in here, and she's going to cover that with burlap for me, and she's working on some new cushions for these seats because I got in here with something in my hip pocket, a screwdriver or something, and snagged that burlap on my seat and tore a little hole, and it just kept going and going, but actually it kind of fit with the truck. A big hole in the seat. It was no big deal, but I got some new burlap sacks that have a really neat design on them, and I think they say Idaho taters instead of potatoes. They say taters. So that's going to be my new seats, and she's working on that. And also some little burlap pads that'll fit this the inside of this collar in this area here, cover up this back wall, and add just a little bit of cushion there too. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to get going on those lights and see what I can figure out. Hope I don't have to get too deep. Never know. Okay, see ya.